Hey all, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and today I bring you Kaiju Zoodiacs. So it's just like Zodiacs, but with animals more so, like zoo. So basically the Zodiacs. So this is one of the newest decks to hit the format that is really competitive, and I gotta say, I'm very impressed. I'm very, very impressed. So this is my friend's deck profile, and I'm bringing it for you today to showcase what I find to be his most consistent build of the deck. He consistently schools me with it, as I'm still learning my DDD deck. So not really much of a matchup there. He outplays me, and the deck seems to be extremely consistent at just the control of the field. And it obviously is a very XZ-oriented deck. That's all that you really see there. Of course, there's the Elder Entity Norden to kind of get you access to those rank 4 plays. This will not be a discussion video today, it's just going to be a deck profile, as I've actually never played this deck personally. I played up against it a lot, so I don't really want to speak too much on it, as I have very little knowledge of it. I am learning it though, so I'm not completely clueless. I understand the 3 main engines of the deck and how they kind of work, so I'm just going to be giving a quick little brief overview of the deck and just mentioning those specific engines. So first off, he has one Star Destroying Kaiju here. He's got one Lightning Strike Kaiju, one Mad Flame Kaiju, and the Sea Turtle Kaiju. And I remember this one from the ABC deck profile I did of the same guy. Yeah, same guy. Very good friend of mine. He's very competitive. And yeah, I don't have a lot of friends, but I do have a couple Yu-Gi-Oh friends, and he's the one who just wants me to focus on these deck profiles and showcase some of the ones that he likes to use and ones that I have a really great time playing up against. And just to round off this Kaiju engine, we have Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit duo right here. Moving on to the next theme of this deck, it actually is a speedroid engine in this deck as well. This was pretty prominent during the beginning, I do believe, of the Zodiacs kind of being showcased online. But now that they are completely released in North America, I do see the speedroid engine coming back, and I think that's a pretty smart choice. It adds consistency to the deck and just a little more special summon potential there. So he runs 3 speedroid Terratops and 1 speedroid Take-Tomborg. I don't know how to pronounce that. My apologies. I hope that's okay. And to the final engine of the deck, really, here we get to the Zodiac Beasts. The Zodiac Beasts. You never really, I don't know which way it should be said. Proper way, Zodiacs. More consistent way, Zodiacs. But yes, so the Zodiac engine right here. He only runs 2 of these guys right here, these throw blades. But he runs 3 of the rest. I have seen some people only run 1 of these, and sometimes run 3 of these. But more consistently, I see them run 1, he runs 2. And then everybody runs 3, the Whiptails right here, and 3 of the Rat Piers. So I think that's a pretty standard build right there, and that's the most prominent engine of the deck you would probably see. And lastly, just got 2 maxis just for that draw power. Obviously that's the format that we're in right now, and you should run 1 to 2 maxis. I'd recommend running 2 maxis in your whole profile, but at least 1 in your main deck at all times. I think that's pretty consistent. And that ends off the monsters of the main deck. Moving on to the spell cards. So we have 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumbers, and I see everybody runs this at 3, and I definitely recommend running them at 3. Next of all, we have my favorite artwork of this entire deck, entire archetype. It is the Zoodia Barrage. Now this is insane. It lets you special summon a Zodiac from your deck, which is insane. You can just pick one, and that's awesome. And you can even target one Zodiac monster you control, attach this card from your graveyard to that Xyz monster as Xyz material. That's awesome. And the only drawback is you have to target one face-up card you control and destroy it. That's kind of like the condition that needs to be met, but that is pretty easy to do. And it's a continuous spell, so that's very awesome. So that's kind of the theme that this deck actually holds. If you look more into it, there's a lot of continuous spells. I think because of how many continuous spells there are in this deck, he only runs, moving on to the next portion, 1 Fire Formation, Tenki, and 1 Fire Formation Tensu. So that just adds a little bit more attack. Obviously the Zodiacs are Beast type, Beast Warrior more specifically, and that kind of helps them with that. A little bit of attack, and then the searching power that both these have, and the additional normal summon for those engines there for the Xyz. Now he only runs one instant fusion in his main deck, and he keeps one in his side deck, and that's just for Elder-Ended Norden, like I said before, to get those rank 4 plays going a little faster. And pretty standard, we got Reigeki and 2 Twin Twisters. So that's also some fairly standard just field destruction there. Not too much to say about that. Lastly, moving on to the trap card lineup, we got Zoodiac Combo. Now here's just a archetype combo support there. Kind of just adding that theme of attaching Xyz materials to your Zoodiac cards. And that's pretty awesome because this also acts as like a pot of Arbars, where you could grab a whole bunch of Zodiacs from your graveyard and toss them in your deck, and then draw a card. So it's fairly good. I see him only run one. I barely see anybody run it, but it is very helpful, and it looks like he was trying to fill in some of this deck, so I understand that. Moving on, we got 1 Torrential Tribute, fairly standard for this deck. I see everybody running it. It makes sense why, and yeah, you should definitely run 1, even though it is limited at 1, but you should still run 1. And one of the most common cards found in all decks of this format, Dimensional Barrier, just to shut down those extra deck monsters, and really any other special summon monsters that could follow a theme in the deck, stopping Ritual Fusion, Synchro Xyz, or Pendulum cards. It's very, very powerful. Now I see that this Typhoon got moved over here, so let's move that back. This Typhoon right here has the very special ability. Now I've seen him use this, and I think he just likes the fact that you can activate it like from your hand, which is why he runs it. Basically, you can use it from your hand. It's a trap card that can be activated from the hand when your opponent controls 2 or more spell and trap cards than you do, and it's just basically an MST right there. But it has to target a face-up spell or trap card on the field, which is pretty good. This is, I think, he uses this more so on me to get rid of pendulums, but I can see a lot of versatility for it. And lastly, he's got 1 Solemn Strike. I personally like running more than 1 Solemn Strike, but at this time I understand completely that 1, it fits his deck very well. Moving on to the extra deck, he's got 1 Norden, of course, we've mentioned that throughout the entire profile so far, as well as 2 of each of these Zodiac beasts. I know that's not every single Zodiac beast, but he's got 4 he runs. This also seems very standard to what the deck profile is competitive with. So basically he's got 2 Tiger Mortars, 2 Dridents, 2 Borbo, and 2 Broadbow. So that's very awesome. Now all these cards are insane. I love fighting up against them. I love this entire archetype, and it's great. It's never an archetype I would build personally, and we'll get to that at the end of the video, but it is so fun to play against. Finishing off, we got some rank 3s here, just for mostly the speedroid engine there and the ghost there. But Totem Bird, MX Saber, Invoker, that's just good for your Earth and your Beast Warrior searches there. We also got 1 Castel, and 1 Gagaga Samurai, 1 Daigusto, Emerald, that's fairly consistent across a lot of these deck profiles, and 1 Diamond Direwolf. Now this is also a lot in the ABC deck profile I focused on, so it is the format, and these are the Xyz cards we do recommend running in that format. And last but not least, we have our side deck. So we have 2 artifacts here. So that's I've never actually seen him use these, but they are in his deck. But mostly, I think, after just reading this card a little bit, it's mostly just to stop the banishing effects. So there's that. I have, however, seen him use this card right here, Denko Seka. God, I really hope I'm not butchering these names. But this is more so just to stop set spell and trap cards, and stop the player from just setting up back row, a lot of back row. So I can definitely see that it's the set style. This one has a lot of continuous spells in it, obviously, and quick plays. So that's why this deck can kind of work with this card a little better. But he keeps 2 in there just for those circumstances. Now, one card I haven't seen in a long time, Flying Sea. So that's pretty awesome. It just stops the your opponent from Xyz summoning. Probably to stop the mirror match of this, I'm assuming. And this just lets you special summon to their side field when they special summon. So it's fairly consistent. He runs 2. I'm guessing probably for the mirror match, like I said. The other instant fusion, 2 system downs, and I imagine he runs these because of there's some pretty prominent machine builds. Also, mirror match can help with stopping those speedroids, but mostly I think Cyber Dragon Infinity stop right there. So I understand that. I do play Cyber Dragon, so I can see why he would keep these in here. A Book of Moon, I see this across a lot of deck profiles. I don't ever personally use it, but it is a good way just to stop an effect, just get a card face down, fairly consistent that way. And one card that I see a lot of Zodiac players play, My Body's a Shield. That makes sense. And then we got the very standard Anti-Spell Fragrance. So I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I hope that we give you some ideas there, some more inspiration, some advice, some tips, anything that you needed to build your own Zodiac deck, or if you're just curious about what Zodiac decks might look like in the format right now. I hope this helped you. This deck usually, I would say, costs about $1,000 American to make right now. So it is just baffles me. It baffles me how expensive this deck is. So I would never recommend building this unless you're a serious player, but it is powerful. It is seriously powerful. I think it's a great deck to play online with friends, and that's definitely what you should be doing with it. But if you want to spend that money, you have a serious deck, my good sir. You would be rocking a serious deck. So I thank you for watching. I hope to catch you in the next one, and as always, peace.